Hello and welcome to this week's CW3 Weekly. I am so excited to welcome Paula Steurer of Strerling Public Relations. Paula has a publicity, branding, and marketing hybrid company. She also works with clients all over the United States, internationally known brands as well as startups. She's also been a featured guest speaker for Oracle, Visio, MindBody, and our very own CW3 Summit back in January. So welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here today.
I'm so happy to see you. And I haven't seen or minimally talked to you since the summit in January. And so much, as we know, has occurred since the summit, hence, COVID-19. And so I just want to talk to you a little bit about that and how are you doing in all of this pandemic?
Well, you know what's funny, to inject a little humor, is when you said January, the first thing that went through my mind was, wow, that was a really long time ago. Because I feel like everything with COVID, I feel like March lasted for 3 years, April didn't exist, now we're almost in June, and like, where did half the year go? I don't know.
I don't know. Yes, it's surreal.
Yeah, to put it lightly.
So with you having your own public relations firm, you have a lot of clients, Paula, and managing all of these clients during this pandemic, I'm sure has put you even in overdrive. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about how it is that you are working with your clients, at a distance. How is that working?
So, blessing and a curse, right? I feel like with what's happened with COVID is I went from running a very busy firm to running a very busy firm where everything was an emergency to running a busy firm where everything is an emergency, and then there's an influx of people who are desperate for help. And it's been hard, of course, it's been stressful, but I think above and beyond anything else, the biggest thing that I have been doing for all of my clients in every industry is managing emotions, because it's very easy to get tripped up in your emotions during extreme stress and turbulence and make incorrect decisions that are actually really damaging because you're emotionally driven and you haven't given yourself the time to make thoughtful, intentional decisions. So one thing that I've been doing more than anything else with clients is strategy, where sometimes we've gotten on a call and I've gotten to a point where I've said, you know what, we just need to cry right now, and that's so okay. So tell me what you're afraid of. Tell me what you don't want to talk about. Tell me what hurts the most. Let's get it all out. Because if we can talk about it and we know what we're dealing with from an emotional standpoint, we can at least pay that justice, honor how you're feeling, but then separate that from decisions that need to be made in the business. And so that has been a 16-hour-a-day life for me since March 19th here in California.
Yeah, wow, that is really heavy, Paula. And I mean, it's so once you kind of reel all that in, if you're able to, and they're compliant, then I guess you're probably going with that strategy approach, right?
Yeah, as soon as I'm able to help clients navigate through kind of the emotional piece of it, and we can get down to business, brass tacks, what do we really need to do next? For so many businesses, you always feel like, hey, I need to know exactly what the roadmap is and how we're going to get there. But the thing with COVID is we don't have a roadmap. None of us know. And so what I keep saying to my clients is, let's just do what we can to make the next right decision for now. And that's okay. Let's just take one step forward and make the next right decision. So when I can get clients to that space, what's nice is my team can execute, whether it's press efforts, social media, email marketing, or we've done a lot of internal communications. Because right now I have business owners coming to me and saying, I need to furlough staff. I'm laying some people off. We have modified hours. There's different things where we're not just working on messaging externally for the public. I'm working on messaging internally. Those are two completely different sets of communication.
Which is typically something that you wouldn't be doing otherwise.
In many cases, no. So we've definitely taken on more work for a lot of clients because it needed to be done. which is what I said to a client the other day. She said, I feel so bad. I'm throwing more on your plate. And I said, what you don't understand is I'm in the business of we need to do right now what needs to be done. And we can talk about everything else later. Right now, what do we need to do to fill all these holes, patch up this boat so we can go further down the stream? That's what it's all about. It's what are the solutions? How can we implement them? Let's get to a stable space, and then we can start planning for the future.
So you're so good at what you do, Paula, and
Thanks.
You're so creative. I'd love to hear some sort of success story of one of your clients with, I understand that you may not be able to give a lot of detail, but what is it that you are creatively doing to help your clients?
Sure. So one thing I'm doing with certain clients that need a push, because let's face it, in any industry, especially when you've been in business a while, you get comfortable in doing what is familiar. And the problem with that is there has been a global change that will forever affect the way that we do business. And so if business owners do not want to make changes, they will go out of business. And there's no nice way for me to say that. And I've had to have that conversation with certain clients where I can certainly understand emotions. I can certainly understand the frustration, but now it's time to change. Now is time to evolve. And there are things we can do. So that is one thing that I don't want to say that's creative, but it's more or less having a hard conversation that needs to be had. And I did have that with 3 clients that I can think of. Super emotional, super emotional. All 3 got on board, but they needed to have the space to mourn the past, to mourn what they used to love to do, and at the same time change and create new space to do things differently. That being said,
yeah, go ahead.
That being said, I think one of my clients that I'm most proud of, been in business since before I was born, family business, 5 locations here in Southern California. I'll leave their name out of this, but long story short, they had to furlough a lot of staff. And that was tough. Family-owned business, you're close with your people. You take that to heart as a business owner. You're providing lifestyle and means for all these people, and you're faced with not being able to do that. So they got through that. And the second thing is they said, hey, listen, our clients are still working. How can we better serve them? And sort of a silver lining was that a year ago, we had started something called Shop the Floor, which was basically everything they carried in their locations online. And what we laugh about now is we had the hardest time getting people to adopt shopping online. They just wanted to go in their stores. And we tried everything you could think, everything my creative hat could think, we implemented, and it wasn't working. And COVID forced it to work because people had no choice. They no longer could go into the physical location. So it was really interesting what happened. This vertical of their business they launched a year ago that we couldn't get up and running. It looked beautiful online, but nobody was using it. Now everyone had to use it. And now we're in a space where I actually think we're going to be consolidating one of their locations, but we're doing that because what we realized is we actually need more people to manage this online division because it's through the roof. And we had 1 person in this role. We now need about 12 people.
That's excellent. So yeah, that's a great success story to say the least. And then, yes, I have definitely seen, there's so many products out there that maybe like what you're saying didn't have that online presence, but now everybody is definitely online. Now, going back to you, here you are helping other businesses get out there publicly with your public relations firm, and then helping them save their businesses. And then at the same time, you're having to work to even save your own business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
How has that been for you?
I think back to the emotional toll, I'm so vested in my clients and what we do that it's one thing, when your own business is going through turbulence, it's another when you see people who through no wrong of their own, no lack of planning, no one team member's fault, when you see them absolutely devastated because of something they couldn't control at all, that's hard. And I take that to heart often. It's something I even get choked up talking about it. That's tough, because I don't like to see clients struggle. I'd say for myself, I'm so blessed that I've had a really, really loyal following for however long. I've had my business 12 years now. I've actually taken on a lot of new business in the last couple months. I'm really blessed because so many people have gone from thinking they needed help to knowing they needed help. And there's a difference. When you go through something like this, you realize the areas you're exposed in a really vulnerable way. And I've had several businesses on board because they went, if I don't invest in you, I literally won't have a business in 30 days because I absolutely am not equipped from a marketing standpoint to even respond to this. So I'm grateful, I'm certainly working really extended hours. So managing myself has become a full-time job just to make sure I'm mentally and emotionally really strong through this.
So let's talk about that. How are you managing your own self-care, or have you been able to even do that for yourself, working 16-hour days?
Well, I tell you, if you rewound 4 weeks ago, I looked like hell. Bags under my eyes, no makeup. I couldn't put myself together. I just couldn't do it. There just wasn't enough time and energy. Wasn't sleeping very well. Wasn't working out. All these things I know to do. But it came a point about a month ago where I started having these conversations with my clients where I would say, we're now at a time where everybody's got to start redistributing some of this weight. We were there for a good 6-7 weeks going strong, but here's the thing, our team's burning out. So my team and I cannot best support you if we aren't in a happy, healthy, whole place. And so I stopped, responding to text messages at 11 p.m. and taking 10 o'clock phone calls with people crying. I was still there, but, I needed to get people away from having full access all the time to realizing we have the systems in place and I now need time to breathe, work out, read, listen to podcasts. So, I made mistakes like everybody else, but right now I'm very protective of my free time. What little free time I have is just mentally, I've got to make sure I'm feeding my soul.
Absolutely. And eating properly, drinking enough liquids.
Yes.
Nurturing the body. So yeah, I can't even imagine what it is that you're going through. And yes, we are all going through this together. Some businesses are really thriving, others are struggling. But it's so great that your clients have you to go to as a very dependable resource, as well as, you're just so good at what you do, Paula. And what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, email is great. I can be a little slower on email these days, but it's paula@sterlingpublicrelations.com. I do have an Instagram. You can follow me at @SterlingPR. I'm on LinkedIn, pretty highly responsive there. Or you can check out my website. It's sterlingpublicrelations.com, and would love to lend an ear, give advice. If there's anything that I can do to help you or your community, I'd love to.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I know you're busy.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy to see you because it's
so
been
good to
too
see
long. And we'll make sure to post all of your information as well, Paula. And you stay well, stay healthy, get some rest, and take care of yourself.
You too. Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.